So this is a hard Gun Lancer bus. Red Gun Lancer, because I haven't done Red Gun Lancer. But this is 1581. Really high level. I used to do normal buses for my Gun Lancer. But now it's high enough. The normal finishes so fast to a point that playing hard is a little bit more challenging. Yeah, because people were saying like, when do I get the Red Gun Lancer build, right? A Red Gun Lancer busing. Obviously, Red Gun Lancer busing is a little harder than blue because you will need to land your skills. For example, I just missed that, right? So before I was scared when I was initially doing Red Gun Lancer bus on normal mode. I was lacking damage, and I realized the reason why I lacked damage was because I was just bad. I was just missing my skills. Or like missing my skills as in not hitting it on the head. What's important for Red Gun Lancer is you always have to, you know, make sure you land it at the head, right? And then making sure your taunt is efficient there. Right? I gotta make sure I land those skills, right? And you know, always have a shield on properly, and whenever I want to refill my shield, I need to take off my shield first in order to reset it. So since it's a burst damage, I will need to watch out and not miss my burst, because if I miss my burst, I will need to wait another, like, you know, a series of seconds. In this case, it'll be like 20 seconds. But a blue Gun Lancer's case, it's a lot more forgiving because you can just spam skills and get away with it. But a red, if you miss or not land on the head, you have a problem of lacking DPS. See, like in this case, you have like 2 people here. My Esther gauge is not filled up, so I can just chill a little bit. I have 6 bars. At 30th bar, it goes to the mechanic, as all you guys know. So I'm just chilling here. And my Esther gauge is filled up, so I can start doing DPS, and I'll be pretty safe. And when I reach the 30th bar, what happens is I go to the middle, use Way, and then use my Shining Panacea. And then eat all the orbs. And then use Way to and then finish it up with my stagger skills. And Gun Lancer has a big stagger, so I have nothing to worry about. It's actually pretty simple. My other characters sometimes have to adjust skill points, adjust the skills that I have, because they lack stagger. But Gun Lancer's case, you know, he has big stagger, so. But the problem is sometimes, you know, you circle around and then you might do it slower. You know, 1 surge cannon is enough. We have plenty of time. And sometimes when you run out of shield, you can just use your awakening and refill your shield. That's why they use the second awakening instead of first one. That's also why when you play a Red Gun Lancer, the reason why when you have 5-3s, they usually go combat readiness is because if you have combat readiness, you can play more aggressively because you have 30% more shield. But if you have 5-3s with just Lone Knight without combat readiness, which it requires you 9-7 stone for NA purposes, like in Korea you can have a 9-7 very easily because we have ancient accessories that gives you 6-3. You have to play more conservative because you won't have enough shields. Okay. There you go. Well, in this case, I still have this much left, right? On the Esther gate, so I can just chill and cleanse the debuffs. All right. So I can just take my time here. I have a lot of pots too. I haven't eaten the pot yet. Keep refilling shields accordingly, but you notice the shield just doesn't fill as as much as blue gun lancers do. That's their biggest problem, and they're kind of squishy to compare to, you know, the blue gun lancer. So eventually, when I do just a little more damage, I think the red one's gonna run away soon. Yep, he ran away. Now we have just a little bit of Esther gauge left, but I have to watch out, because sometimes how I crashed the bus was, this is 15 line for the next gimmick, and sometimes you do too much damage and then skip that pattern, because I'm a burst damage, right? That's a very unfortunate event. Okay, I can just do burst here, and then he's gonna phase into doing his orb mechanic. It's gonna go anytime soon. Yep, now he just goes. Gotta make sure I use way, just to do a little bit of stagger, and eat the orb shining panacea. Circle it up. What the fuck? What the hell was that? I was stuck. But even if that was the case, I had enough time to do stagger. But that was so weird though. I got scared there. So sometimes when you eat the orb, you get stun locked. But the problem is like, the stun lock doesn't last that long. I think my character was like stuck between like the boss or something like that, like an invisible wall or something. Alright, blocking that. So what you need to watch out here is sometimes, you know, as you guys know, he does a fear, right? When he does that fear, you just need to press that spacebar on time. The reason why you press the spacebar is because spacebar, you're immune to all CCs. So he's probably gonna do it anytime soon. I'm assuming he does it kind of like when it's at 6. But unfortunately, let's say if I'm like frozen or something. So look at that. Press the spacebar right there. That's the mechanic that he did. So in order for you to check it really well, is you look at his bar. You get his boss bar, and sometimes his boss bar becomes a lock sign. When that bar becomes a lock sign, that means he's gonna do a mechanic. Usually, every time. This is the same case for every boss. So if that lock sign turns up, oh, he's gonna do something, and then you look at the boss afterwards to just double confirm, since you have enough time to do it. Yep, usually every time, because it's usually, but it also feels like every time. That's why it's usually every time. Another word doesn't make any sense. So when you start Valtan Bus though, since you're just one person, you aren't able to break both of Valtan's armor. So what you do is you usually, you know, crash him to a spot, and then you kind of lead him to this other pillar so that he can break it. But he didn't move that way because some of them was not a, they didn't die in time. So he was supposed to aggro me so that I can land all the stuff. So again, he does that regular pattern as usual, right? And then the scripted pattern where he just goes up afterwards. So my goal is I want to take all the blue orbs that gives a little bit of Esther gauge in time. And his second, well, he's gonna do a headbutt right away. So I'm gonna take this orb too, but it's not gonna be enough Esther gauge for sure. Usually, that's what happens usually. Just turn on my super armor there. Just gotta do some damage. And it just goes up, do that spheres again. So when he does that spear the third time, I will have an Esther gauge ready, and then you usually use Styrane to break one of his armor. He has ×2 armor, but you can only break one. That's why when you're doing a bus, you feel that your DPS is lacking, is because he takes 10% less damage. That's why the DPS requirement is quite high when you're trying to bus alone, or two people actually. And one person bus usually is very dangerous due to it's just one person. If you die, you have to reset. So you always have this anxiety of dying and have to reset again. And if you reset again, you become very worried to a point where can I actually beat it? You know, I used to feel that all the time when I was I used to feel that all the time when I was busing initially. Oh, thought it was doing the... It's not doing the mechanic all of a sudden. There we go, he's gonna do the thing. This is what I was, I guess, anxiety about. Because he's not doing this thing. Now he's doing it. There you go. It's a little behind schedule, but I'm still fine. Gunlancer's much safer and easier because you just have a lot of shields. And then you can block most of his patterns too. So I try to backstep and then... Oh, here you go. So you have to take the orb, you counter, and then you time stop, and then you phase. So that's particular when you're busting, you have to use time stop, because what the orb does is it does more damage the more stacks you have over here. If you have that debuff. DPS opportunity? Sometimes I just take hits here because I have a lot of shield. Oh, he's doing it again. Time stop again. I guess this is what I was anxious about because if I run out of time stop, it's a bad idea. So what I'm going to do is if I happen to have an Esther gauge and he does a different pattern, I'm going to use Way. Actually, when the bus crashes due to like a very, very rare pattern happening multiple times, they kind of don't. Well, if you explain it, I guess they're kind of okay with it. Usually, when I used to bus bus every week, they usually give you like 3 chances because it doesn't really impact the number of time it takes. Because sometimes if you just have a bad bad luck on the pattern, you can't really do anything. You're supposed to die alone, kind of stuff. I'm just gonna use my awakening here so that I can just refill my shield. Yeah, this pattern. This was the pattern I was talking about. So the problem is now I have a big problem because I have to use my time stop here, and I don't have any time stops anymore. That's the problem. So if I get that marble pattern again, I'm just gonna hope that I'm tanking enough to not die. If I was my gunslinger here, it would have been a reset. Because like, I have no time stop to skip patterns. The worst part is if I get that stagger thing again, if I get that stagger pattern again, I have no choice. So I'm gonna save my way with my Esther. Hopefully my Esther fills up if I ever get that stagger pattern again. Hopefully. Okay. So we face, though I don't have to worry about a special pattern that has to got my, like, you know, where I need to use a time stop. Like, time stop mandatory patterns are gone. But the problem is, if I go to the ghost phase, sometimes you have to use a time stop to be extra safe. But I can't do that, right? So that's a problem. So I'm gonna see, he does a grab. So sometimes he just does that. I'm gonna watch out. Turn on my battle stance there. Because sometimes it bugs. Sometimes it just bugs and then you get tapped and then you just die. That's a very unfortunate. At least I got this. I'm just gonna use my Thyrene here so I can just phase. Sometimes Thyrene's your friend. Actually, every time. And this particular one, I remember I messed up with my gunslinger because my movement speed was so slow. Same case here too. You just have to walk, and then sometimes your movement speed is so slow, and then you're not used to it, and then you get hit, and then you die. That's also unfortunate. This always happens when you're not when you're anxious, you know. So in this case, I'm going to throw the dark bomb. Okay, let's see what he does. I'm gonna see what he does first. Very safe. I'm gonna play very safe because I don't have time stop. See, I'm gonna see that first, right? Always see the grab first, because sometimes when you're in a situation where you can't move, you will need to use your time stop to dodge that grab. But as you notice, I don't have a time stop anymore, right? So what's important for me is to play extra safe, extra safe. And then do the counters whenever I can. Always check my shield meters too, because sometimes when your shield is not there, your super armor is not active. This is fine, I can take that hit. Okay, the grab. This is fine. So I have my Thyrene, so whenever I have 10 bars, I can just use it just to skip. Now I just need to watch out. I'm gonna burst here, and then he's going to use counter. He's going to use his grab, so I'm gonna stay a little bit outside with the super armor on. And then, since I played safe, I'm gonna use Thyrene here. And then use my Surge Cannon to finish him off. Nice. So yeah, that was the Red Gunlancer bus run. I think it was the most, what do you call it, bumpy road, because I used all my time stop. Because if I use all my time stop, I just get so scared, you know. But since Gunlancer is such a very safe class, I just happen to just play extra safe because I have enough damage to do it. If my item level was a little bit lower, this is why sometimes you want to take a higher level, because when you're in this case where you have to play safe, you do less DPS, right? So if you have less spec, it will be much harder for you to do it. And then if you restart, you have to do everything all over again. So that's going to be very tough. That's it. As always, thanks guys. Bye.